Clearwater Technologies presents setting up your router. For this, you're going to have a direct connection to the router you're setting up with an Ethernet cable. So if you're on a laptop, you have to be sure that you disconnect your wireless. Once you've done that, you're going to want to, like I said, connect an Ethernet cable directly to the router. And once it's directly connected to the router, you're going to get a command prompt. That is, of course, you have set up your installation CD wizard. It'll start you up through it. Basically, this is going to be accessing it through the browser, and I'll show you the information that you can gather. So once you're in a command prompt, you need to type in ipconfig, all one word. That's ipconfig, and you'll hit enter. And then you want to obtain the default gateway. In this case, it's 192.168.1.1. You're going to open up an Internet Explorer browser menu. Type in 192.168.1.1 and hit enter. It'll bring up Windows security credentials. If you do not know the default username and password, if you have a Cisco router, more than likely it's admin or it's admin administrator. Those two should work for you. If not, you can Google and find out what the default password is for most routers. So that'll bring you into the setup interface. So once you're in this, you're gonna basically have a host name, a domain name. You can name these whatever you want. Host name on this, I'll just say Wireshark. And on the domain name, I'm going to call this the Batcave. And I'm going to go ahead and hit, I want my wide area network connection type is obtain the IP address automatically. Basically what that is that's like another external source. Like the internet has to come from a place to use this router. So like say you had an internet service provider's modem and you're connecting this 4-port router. This has no wireless functionality either. This is just a regular 4-port switch. So when you hook up another source to it, that's a WAN. So the LAN is a local area connection. That's the IP address that the actual router has is 192.168.1.1. But I don't want to do that because I already have something that's similar to that. So I want to put it in a different range. So I want to put it in a .2. So I want 192.168.2.1. You might not have to do this, but ipconfig will tell you all the information. And then there's ipconfig spacebar / all that will give all the information to everything that's connected on your network. So we're going to go ahead and click apply now. And what this is going to do is this is going to hang up. It's basically going to take me back to a cannot connect to the internet page. And even if you were to type that new IP address into the browser bar, it's not going to work for you. Because what's happened is we have to flush the RAM on the actual router out of the L2 cache. So we'll flush that by doing a power cycle. And once we do the power cycle, we'll be able to access it from the browser. But I'm going to go ahead and let this run because it says 5 seconds, but sometimes, like I said, it takes a while. Alright, so it hasn't taken me. So what I'm going to go ahead and do at this point, since it's saying settings are successful, I'm going to go ahead and unplug the router from the power supply in the wall. I'm going to go ahead and unplug that for about 5 seconds. And then you just plug it back in. So we're going to go ahead and type that new IP address in 192.168.2.1. And see how that brought up the administrative access again? It's asking me for administrative privileges to gain access to this part of my network. So once you type your credentials in, just click OK. And as you can see, now the host name has Wireshark Batcave. And I also changed the local area connection there with the 192.168.2.1. And that is the router's IP address. So as I said, you'll access that from the browser bar every time. Now, if you want to assign like a static IP address to a computer, it's a completely different video. I'll get to that as soon as I can. But other than that, that's how you set up your router and access it. There's a lot of things that you can do in a router. There's some things that you can actually do to improve the speeds of your network itself by opening up certain ports. It's better known as port forwarding. Like there's FTP. There's just like a lot of ports you can open up. There's even gaming ports that you can open up, and I'll get to those on a PlayStation 3 static IP tutorial. I'll show you the gaming ports, and I'm going to talk to you about the DMZ, which is the demilitarized zone. And as you can see here, we have a DMZ host IP address, which I'll explain to you what that means in another video. But other than that, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope this helped you set up your router. But I'm going to go ahead and set up some separate videos in the future on port forwarding, static routing, and the DMZ with the PlayStation 3. But alright guys, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe.